We begin with breaking news this midday out of Norfolk, where City Treasurer Anthony Burfoot has been indicted on 8 federal charges, including perjury and wire fraud. 10 on your side's Andy Fox has been following this investigation for a while now. Andy is now in the newsroom with a copy of that indictment. Andy.
Yes, if you're reading it, it is an amazing read, a lot of investigation. The 8 counts build a strong case against Burfoot if it is proven in court to be true. Most damning is his association with Tivest Development and Construction. The indictment reads federal prosecutors allege Burfoot used his position as councilman, vice mayor, and chief deputy treasurer to enrich himself. They say he did this by soliciting and obtaining payments, gifts, and other things of value in exchange for official actions to benefit the individuals and their interests. Prosecutors call it a scheme. Burfoot became a silent partner in Tivest and promised other partners he would use his position to help direct city projects to Tivest and them. At some point, Burfoot gets nervous about his interest in Tivest and demands money to cash out. He wanted $250,000, but the partners said the company hadn't made any money. But they paid thousands to Burfoot to continue getting the city projects. Prosecutors say he directed about $100,000 to invest in Tivest in federal grant money, even though Tivest wasn't licensed to do the work. He gave them the money anyway. According to the indictment, Burfoot manipulated a filing deadline in favor of Tivest for work in the Broad Creek Villas development, where he now has a home. The feds also bring up the controversial Midtown office tower development project, where Burfoot got $50,000 in cash and other gifts to show favor to Tivest with that development, and he then voted to approve the project for Tivest. He also tried to conceal the scheme, according to prosecutors. At another hearing for another project, Burfoot was asked under oath, "Mr. Burfoot, have you ever solicited anything of value in exchange for an official act?" Burfoot answered, "I did not, I have not." "Mr. Burfoot, have you ever accepted anything of value in exchange for an official act?" And he answered, "I have not." 10 on your side has also asked him the same questions. "Today, I went to the treasurer's office and was told Burfoot would be arraigned today." Have you heard anything? Or?
No.
Yeah, we have a camera.
I know.
What can you tell me? Can you tell me anything?
You know as much as I do. He called me to tell me that he was being arraigned today, and that's as much as I know.
And he told you that. Do you say anything about what it's for, the charges?
He has no idea until they do it.
Well, this is a story we have been following since April when he got federal subpoenas. I also asked Stanley Stein, what does this mean? Does this mean he continues as city treasurer? And according to Stanley Stein, he says, well, you're innocent until proven guilty. We don't know how this will impact his service as city treasurer right now until the finality of whatever happens in court. That is the latest from the newsroom, and we'll have more. Back to you.
Andy, thank you. 10 on your side's Jason Marks also following this story in Norfolk. He's joining us now live with Norfolk Councilman Andy Protegero. Jason.
Yeah, I have 2 council members here. I have Councilman Andy Protegero and also Vice Mayor Angela Williams-Graves, who are both standing next to me. First of all, let me just get your reaction, Councilman, your reaction to this latest news.
Well, the indictment doesn't surprise me whatsoever. It's unfortunate against Mr. Burfoot, but the indictment doesn't surprise me.
Why do you say that?
The deal on the Tivest matter back in 2011 when it came before the council, when myself and the vice mayor and Mr. Smeagol voted against it, stunk. And it was a deal that we couldn't accept on behalf of the city and the citizens. And that's really what a lot of this seems to stem back to.
Now, that deal was February 2011. It was a 5-3 vote. You, along with Tommy Smeagol and the vice mayor, were the 3 that voted against it. Vice Mayor, your reaction?
Well, you know, I am surprised. I've always said that Anthony has done good things for his ward. But again, to go back to what Councilman Protegero has said, that deal just didn't make sense. It just didn't. The nuts and bolts of it just didn't come together for me, and that was the reason why I voted against it. So, you know, if this is a result of it, then we were right on in our instincts.
Obviously, as an elected official here representing the people, you hate to see these sort of things when it's another elected official in the same city. It gives it a black eye, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's bad for the city, it's bad for the citizens, and it doesn't promote the trust and the healthy relationships that we work very hard every day to try to create with our citizens. So it's very unfortunate.
Now, Councilman, I know you're a defense attorney. You've done plenty of cases in federal court. Explain to me, as an attorney, what did these charges mean?
Well, the charges, if you examine them, deal with defrauding the citizens of the city of Norfolk. That's the basis of the charges. And other charges deal with perjury, which is testimony that is material in a federal prosecution. That's what the charges mean. Each carries significant time as they were. But then again, an indictment is merely a charge with the attorney hat on. And then over time, discovery ensues, and then people have an opportunity to defend themselves.
Put this into context for us, though. How serious are these charges?
On behalf of elected officials, they are as serious as elected officials can have with regard to charges.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We're continue to get reaction from city council members, but as you heard, one of them is shocked, one of them's not shocked. But we will continue to follow the story. We'll have much more for you coming up, starting on WAVY News 10 at 4. But for now, that's the latest here in Norfolk. Now back to you guys.
Jason, thank you. Very important to hear from them so soon after this. We do have complete coverage of today's indictments on air and online. Look for the latest from Jason and Andy throughout our newscast and coming up later today on WAVY News 10 at 4. We have also posted the full indictment on wavy.com along with our previous coverage of this story.